So I got a notification on my phone this morning that said, storage is almost full. Please review your files. And I don't know if you're like me, but I'm the type of person that waits until I have too much shit on my phone and then I go back and delete it. And before I even delete it, I'll probably go in and see if there's a way I can purchase more memory in the cloud so I don't have to worry about deleting photos. It's just something I do not want to occupy my time with. However, I did go through some of the files this morning and I found out that most of the files were just unnecessary photos and videos that I take along the way. Being a content creator, I take way too many photos and videos. I don't even know what the number was. I'll probably post that below, but it was probably in the tens of thousands of photos and videos that took up a terabyte of space on my phone. I kid you not. Maybe you're with me, maybe you're not with me, but I guarantee you there is some unnecessary information on your phone that we do not go back and address or delete. Now, when I got this notification, storage is almost full, it reminded me of ourselves. It reminded me of our life, that there's probably something that we're holding on to that we forgot that we were holding on to that affects us today, so we aren't able to process or store more information or see the new information, retain the new information that is right here beside us or probably eventually will be with us. And that's not okay. In my mind, that's something I want to talk about for a few minutes today, because I believe that when we see where we are today, it's more challenging for us to see where we're going moving forward. So I wrote this beautiful bar graph here. So we probably have our past is taking up most of the storage space within us. We have what's happening today, what might be coming in and out of our lives, and then our future is the empty space. So we don't really know what that looks like. Now, I'm going to erase this beautiful drawing that I spent 2 minutes on. And I'm going to break this down because most people believe they are somebody and they believe who they are, and that becomes how they identify themselves. When we believe we are a certain way, we identify ourselves as a certain person of a certain status, we have certain values, and that leads us to doing certain things or feeling a certain way in our lives. And I read this concept in the book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza. It was recommended to me by a friend, and I was hesitant to start it because it was a long book. But when I dove into it and you get through the first section of the book, which is on quantum physics, I was like, wow, man, I'm not that smart. Please, thanks for thinking that I am. It gets into some real practical, deep thought, which allowed me to understand where I am, who I was, and where I want to be. Because if you think about us as human beings, if we identify ourselves as a certain type of person, it stems from our beliefs. And the beliefs that we have stem from our emotions. Now, pause here for a second. Our emotions are triggered not from three different things: from who we were and what we have experienced, what we have going on around us, our circumstances, and then potentially, but very rarely, where we see where we are going. Now, when we look at who we are today and the circumstances around us, most of that is going to be defined by what we did to get to this moment right here and right now. When you realize that you are only here and right now, you have an option to look back or to look forward while being present. And it's very challenging to be in two places at once. But energetically, as he states in the book, that while we believe we are mostly matter and physical being and very little bit of energy, the truth is that we are mostly energy, and what we feel is who we will be. And so if we can shift who we believe we are by thinking about and not paying attention emotionally to what has happened to us, stick with me here, we will be able to shift the course of our life to gain more of that space, that storage space, to move forward to be who it is that we want to become. So if how we identify ourselves is what we believe in, and what we believe in stems from our emotional past, a feeling will become a mood, a temperament, and then part of who we are, and that goes on repeat, so that we will identify as that feeling being who we are. Why the storage graph matters, the drawing that I made, is because if we can delete some of the past or just pay attention to it but don't accept it, we'll be able to shift the belief in who we are. So most people, these awesome lines that I'm drawing, we have our past, we have our present, and we have our future. Most people will live in the present and then just accept that the past has got them to where they are, and then this bubble just shifts, and we're never looking ahead. But what I have found over the last 3 years is that when we have vision and we see where we are today, but we look at who we want to be, we can start to create those beliefs by taking action as the future will allow us to. Meaning that if I want to have another $1 million, what I want to do is think, I have $1 million. Great. We're already in the right direction. That feels good, right? Oh, I have an extra $1 million laying around. Now I need to ask myself, what does someone who has an extra $1 million just laying around do? Well, how do they act? What does their day-to-day look like? What actions do they take? How do they carry themselves? How do they communicate with other people? What do they do when no one is watching? And if you have not thought about that for whatever your future self is, you are never going to get there because you are too busy having full storage, right? From bullshit from your past that is taking up all of your memory and space and energy. So you have very little space to create, to move forward, to grow. Weird when you think about it that way, right? So if we can let go instead of saying delete. For instance, I think about oftentimes being 300 pounds, doing drugs, sleeping on a futon in my parents' basement, coming home drunk, having my mom clean throw up off of me. Yeah, it was a bad time. I do not ever want to go back there, but I don't let that version of myself define what it is that I do today, how I act and how I identify myself, because I understand that was a part of my life and I had decisions to make to get from there to here. And now I have decisions to make to get from here to where it is that I want to go. And we, the author of our lives, gets to decide how those decisions are made along the way. What I am trying to communicate with you here is that if we can clear up some of this space from the bullshit, what we're going to be more likely able to do is create that space. Because what happens when we get rid of storage? Things run more efficiently. It's faster. It's more clear. It's more fluid. You have room to take in new information. You can put good information into your phone that helps you move forward. How many old photos and videos did I delete of me doing a deadlift? 100, right? How many photos of me prepping my protein coffee? Another 1,000. The idea is that we have all of this stuff, whether it be good or bad, which is relative, right? To you deciding where you are in the present, to where it is you want to be in the future. You have the opportunity to slow down, to think on those moments. And this came to me in meditating this morning. And the meditation this morning was about anger. How do we deal with anger? Do you lash out? Do you rage? Are you rushed? Are you hurried? Are you short with the people that you care about? Or can you process that in a positively passionate way to understand that this is not forever, it's momentary, it's temporary. And from that emotion, you can make a positive out of it. You can choose to let go. You can choose to act on that. But then when you're done acting on it, you clear that space and you say, okay, I don't need this anymore. I'm not going to even put it in the cloud. I'm going to delete it, and it might come back and I'll recognize it again, but I have other things that I want to focus on. So instead of holding on and letting the past define who you are, giving the power to what has, instead of saying this is where I am and this is all I have and giving the power to your circumstances, I challenge you to look ahead to the future and start giving the power to the future, because then you have a clear vision of who it is that you want to be. When you have a clear vision of who it is that you want to be, ask yourself, what does that version of me in the future do today to take one step closer to being that person, to living that life, whether it be being fit, playing with your kids, whether it be lifting more weight in the gym, whether it be growing your bank account, starting a business, starting a family, or just you living the life that you want to live. But you need to see that first, because once you paint that picture, you may say, oh, it's pretty hard to get to. And that's when you're going to fight this battle. You're going to be trying to be pulled back, and you're going to look forward, and you're going to be pulled back, and you're going to look forward. That's where we slow down. That's where we stay exactly where we are, and we notice the thoughts. And when we notice the thoughts, when we see them for what they are, we do not let them affect our lives. And you can be this ninja of our thoughts. That is what is called equanimity. Equanimity is the ability for you to recognize what you're seeing and feeling and say, that doesn't serve me. This does serve me. I see that. Yes, that affects me. That has affected me, but I'm choosing to not let it affect me, as I want to move in this direction, which I believe is going to serve me, because that is the life that I want to live. So what are you going to do today to delete some of that unnecessary information, that storage, those photos, those memories of your life, physically by doing it on your phone? 10 out of 10 recommend. Felt really good to clear out 20 gigs of data this morning. And it felt really good to meditate and process some things that I've been holding inside that I've been angry about. It doesn't help to do nothing. Even recognizing it and saying, no, thank you, is something. And that's a step in the right direction. Take this, use it, see where it is you want to go. Don't hold on so tightly to your past. And as your body starts to go, no, we like it here, this is really okay, it's because that's all you know. Think about it. I have 36 years of past and a moment of present with an unknown future. It's really hard to move away from what I have. Every step along the way decided to move into a better place, and it's leading me there. While some moments are more challenging than others, this is the practice that helps me move forward. And I want you to do the same by deleting the unnecessary from within you and seeing the future that you desire, and then taking action by asking yourself, what does that future version of myself do right now to take one step forward? Hopefully you use this. I hope you do. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe. I enjoy bringing you this content, these positive thoughts, these positive vibes to take action to live a positive life. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.